Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hope all of you are fine. Our today's topic is active voice and passive voice. Whenever we discuss about active voice and passive voice, two questions arises in our mind. Why we change an active voice sentence into a passive voice sentence, and how we change an active voice sentence into a passive voice sentence. Hope you will get the answer in the last of this video. Let's discuss the objectives of active voice and passive voice. Define what voices of verb are. Differentiate active voice from passive voice. Convert an active voice sentence to the passive voice sentence. And convert a passive voice sentence to an active voice sentence. Let's discuss our first objective. That is, what are voices of verbs? Voices of verb. It can be defined as, in traditional grammar, the quality of verb that indicates whether its subject acts or is acted upon. We categorize voices of verb in two types. First is active voice and second is passive voice. So, what is an active voice sentence? In active voice sentence, the active voice is the normal voice. This is the voice that we use most of the time. In active voice, the object receives the action of the verb. For example, Maria mailed the letter. This is a normal sentence. In this we have a subject, that is Maria, verb mailed, and an object, that is the letter. Now we will discuss the steps on how to convert an active voice to a passive voice sentence. There are three basic rules. First one is interchange the places of subject and object. Use third form of verb. Whatever we are using in active voice, either it is first, second or third form, we will always use third form of verb in a passive voice sentence. And use of a suitable preposition. What we are going to do is just move the object of the active voice sentence at the subject's place of the passive voice sentence. Let's see an example. Here, the letter is the direct object in active voice sentence, but it will become the subject of the passive voice sentence. Now we will place the active sentence subject into the phrase beginning with the preposition by. Maria mailed the letter. Here Maria is the subject, but it will become the prepositional phrase in the passive voice sentence. Now add a form of the auxiliary verb be to the main verb and change the main verb's form. In active voice example, mailed is the main verb, but in passive voice we will add an auxiliary verb with the main verb. It will become was mailed, that is verb plus be auxiliary. Now we will discuss what is a passive voice. Now we will discuss the steps on how to convert a passive voice into an active voice. According to our first rule, just replace the object and subject of the sentences. Here in this example, the letter is the subject in passive voice, but in active voice sentence it will become the direct object. The second step is remove the auxiliary verb be from the main verb and change the main verb's form if needed. Look at the example. Here the letter was mailed by Maria. There is an auxiliary verb that we are using in passive voice sentence, but in active voice sentence we are using second form of verb, so there is no need to use any auxiliary verb with the main verb. Third step is place the passive sentence object of the preposition by into the subject slot. Here, Maria is the direct object of the preposition, but it will become the subject of the active voice sentence. So here we have a complete table of active voice and passive voice sentence structure. In present indefinite active voice sentence we use first form of verb, but in passive voice sentence structure we use is, are, am plus third form of verb. For example, he plays football. Here we are using first form of verb, but when we apply the rules it will become football is played by him. Present continuous tense. In active voice sentence structure we use is, are, am plus ing form of verb. But in passive voice we use is, am, are plus being plus third form of verb. For example, he is playing football. Football is being played by him. Present perfect tense. We use has, have plus third form of verb in active voice, but in passive voice we use has been plus have been plus third form of verb. For example, he has played football. Football has been played by him. Past indefinite tense. We use second form of verb in active voice, but in passive voice we use was verb plus third form of verb. For example, he played football. Football was played by him. Past continuous tense. We use was verb plus ing form of verb in active voice, but in passive voice we use was verb plus being plus third form of verb. For example, he was playing football. Football was being played by him. Past perfect tense. We use had plus third form of verb in active voice, and in passive voice we use had been plus third form of verb. For example, he had played football. Football had been played by him. Future simple tense. We use will and shall plus first form of verb, and in passive voice we use will be or shall be plus third form of verb. For example, he will play football. Football will be played by him. Future continuous tense. We use will be or shall be plus ing form of verb. In passive voice we use will be or shall plus being plus third form of verb. For example, he will be playing football. Football will be being played by him. Thank you for watching.